I'll tell you what, we're here down here in the Cargo Muchachos again. This time we're over by the Cove historic town site. We're actually on the backside of Cove. It's an old mining town from the early 1900s. Of course, down here in the Cargos, gold was actually found as early as the late 1700s by the Spaniards, and later on in the 1800s and early 1900s, this area was mined extensively by larger mining corporations, Tumco being one of them on the town of Hedges. Right here the sign says early miners were great diggers, but not much for filling in holes when things didn't work out. For your safety, stay clear of all mine shafts and tunnels. There's a lot of vertical mine shafts down here. Some of them hundreds of feet straight down, and they're not marked very well. Some of them aren't marked at all. So if you do explore down here in the Tumco area, be careful of that, especially if you bring your pets or your kids with you. It's a pretty beautiful area. There's a lot of history down here. There's a lot of gold still to be found, but there is some danger. Of course, you're in the desert, so be aware of it. What we're going to be working on today, I'm going to be doing a little bit of work with a Fisher Gold Bug 2. I brought the GB2 with me today. It's a great machine for out here. I found lots of small nuggets with it down here, and it's perfect for finding little teeny dinks, sub-gram size nuggets down here in the desert. We'll do a little talk on it, and then we'll actually do some detecting. What I like to do with my Gold Bug 2, of course, first thing you'll do is we'll turn the thing on, and I'll turn the volume all the way up on the machine. I like running it all the way up. Normally though, I'll be running a headset on it so you can use your threshold and turn it really low. But today we're not, because of the microphone on the video, we won't be using a headset, so kind of bear with me on this, and we'll try and see if we can catch the sound coming right out the speaker on it. I'll go ahead and turn the threshold up to a nice level where we can hear it. So we got our volume max. Listen in the background for our threshold. I'll run the sensitivity all the way up. I'll set the machine on the ground, turn the sensitivity all the way up, and if we get a nice steady signal without much interference, I'll run that sensitivity max just as much as I can. On the iron discriminate mode, I rarely run iron discriminate. I've found out you lose a little bit of sensitivity in that mode, and so I'd much rather run in either the normal or the audio boost, and then the high and the low minimalization switch. I'll try and run that in normal or low. Low gives you the most sensitivity. You still have a nice solid threshold back there. And the audio boost is really good if you catch a faint signal. We'll leave it off for right now, but once we get detecting, we'll run audio boost on it. Ground balancing is our last thing we'll do. A lot of people are intimidated by ground balancing because they'll say if it's positive, you got to turn it negative, positive, whatever. I found a really easy way to do it on the ground balancer. I'll start off with the machine right about the middle, sorry for the jumping around here. Get over here away from smell, make sure we're not on a target. Raise and lower the machine. Okay. If the sound gets louder coming up, turn it up. And I'm going to go one notch up. Well, so we went right past it. So the sound gets louder going down, turn it down. And I'm going to use my fine adjustment. Sounds louder coming up, turn it up. Sounds louder going down, turn it down. So you see, we're right in the middle, where each time we're using the large adjustment on this, which is the big knob in the middle here. I'm sorry, the small knob in the middle. So we're going to go to our fine tune. So louder coming up, we'll turn it up, right to the point. We're right and even on that. So if the sound gets louder coming up, turn it up, turn it to the right. If the sound gets louder going down, turn it down. Right now we're pretty neutral. Just a little bit coming up. Now what I like to do when I'm detecting on this, especially on smaller nuggets, is I'll run it just a little bit of a positive sound. That's going down. Gets a little bit louder going down. right there. That's what I found is the most sensitive setting on this machine. We're going to walk out here. This is a very, very mineralized area, so what you'll find on the gold bug is you will spend a lot of time ground balancing out, but just always remember, if it gets louder going down, turn it down to the left. If it gets louder going up, turn it up to the right. Right now we're pretty well neutral on that, a little bit positive, so all we have to do to make our adjustments is just this outer knob right here. It's a multi-turn pot. It'll turn many times either direction on it. So that's all you have to do is adjust it. Louder coming up. Turn it up. We go neutral. I want just a little more. I want just a little positive coming down. Now we got a nice steady tone. Yeah, a little bit of a sound, a little mineralization on there. One thing you run into on these are hot rocks. A lot of hot rocks out here, a lot of mineralization. What I like to do, if we can find a hot rock out here, find something that gives us a... There we're getting a pretty good signal. Just go ahead and ground balance over it. If you balance on that rock and it either goes away or you get a weak sound or only one hit one direction, odds are it's a hot rock. It's not going to be a target. You don't have to dig it. Some areas out here for really drive a VLF machine crazy. Oh. We're trying to balance over it, going down, turn it down. That's probably a piece of metal. Let's see what we got. Sounds like a... Well, let's go ahead and check it out. I wasn't going to start digging yet, but since we got a little target, probably a 22. Oh, here we go right here. Just a little piece of a shell, a little piece of lead. It wouldn't balance out, obviously, but it was a really loud hit, and you get that kind of that squirrely sound from it. You get that a lot with lead and tinfoil. Small pieces of tinfoil will break your heart out here when you're detecting. I like to carry a target with me. What I've got here is a little piece of gold, 3.4 grains measured out. I just taped it to a back of a business card. Some guys will use a poker chip, others will just keep it in a vial. Once you get your machine all set up, go over here, ground balance, louder coming up, turn it up, nice and ground balance. Just go ahead and start detecting along. You're not training yourself or anything, but what you want to do is you want to make sure, get this back here, sorry I was covering the video up there. We're going to detect along on it. So now we know we got the machine set up. Here we're detecting along, we're perfectly ground balanced. Come along our target. And you're getting your nice zip, zip sound. That helps you out. It helps kind of train your ear. Make sure your machine's set up right. You don't have to bury it. If you wanted to bury it, kick some dirt over the top of it. But we're in a mineralized area and you're detecting along and you're constantly ground balancing, you're flipping switches and stuff. You want to make sure that your machine's working. I like to take that nugget, my little target, and I like to check it out probably about every 15 or 20 minutes when I'm detecting along. Make sure my machine's set up right and I've got it. You don't want to use a large target when you're doing that. In other words, don't use a coin or a 3 gram or 4 gram nugget. You want to use something just as small as possible. I actually will use it. I actually have a smaller target that I use too. Just today for demonstration, I use this one. The target I normally use is just under a grain, which really stresses the, I mean, you're really at the limit of what the machine can do. It will find small enough, but that gives you a good indication that your machine's set up right. So again, we're detecting along. You're going to listen for that zip, zip, zip. That's your gold sound that you're doing. We're going to shut off here for a second. I'm going to get my belt with my pick and stuff, and we'll do a little detecting, and I'll work with you a little bit on target recovery and see what happens there.